Welcome to this video tutorial. We are walking through paper 2 from 2019 and we're going to focus on just one section, which is culture identity. We're going to go through the questions and the examiner commentary, and both of this is available on the AQA website, and I've also popped the link down below. So before you start, just make sure that you are familiar with the front page. So if you just have a little bit of a look at it, so you will tell you how many hours it is. So it's a 2-hour paper like the other two papers. For this paper, you must have the AQA answer book as well. So this is different from paper 1 and paper 3. You get an additional answer booklet because you choose the topics that you answer. You do all the questions from one topic in section A and all the questions from one topic in section B. It is whatever you have been taught in your school or college. Make sure that you do all your rough work in your answer book, cross through anything that you do not want to be marked. Previous examiner reports have mentioned that they are pleased that students are planning their answers. So I would advise you that you do that. The marks for each question is shown in brackets, so that will give you an indication about how long you should be spending on each question. The maximum amount is 80, which is the same as the other two papers. All these questions are 10 and 20 marks, so they should be answered in essay style, and you will be marked on your ability to use good English, organise it clearly, so that's where your planning comes in, so then your answer is logical, and use specialist vocabulary where appropriate, and that just means that you are using sociological terms, concepts, ideas, theories, and so on. So just a little bit of extra additional info and guidance. So this paper only has 3 styles of questions. So each page will look very similar when you open it up. There will be a 10-mark outline and explain with 2, 10-mark apply from the item, analyse 2, and 20-mark apply from the item, evaluate. And each section should spend 1 hour on it. Now your top ticks for your 10-marker is that you don't need an intro and conclusion. There are still a small amount of students that are writing those, and it just means that you just run out of time. You're writing a lot of unnecessary info. The word to is put in bold more than once, so that means that the answer does require 2 paragraphs. It's also useful to start the paragraphs with one way is, one reason is, or whatever the question's asking, and then start the next paragraph on a new line. Now there is 2 styles of 10-mark questions. So the first one that you'll see is an outline and explain. It's not about just reciting knowledge. It is linking 2 aspects of the spec together and showing that you can make a logical link between the 2. So you may be unaware of the links, and that's where you've got to have a little bit of confidence when answering those types of questions. So just prepare yourself to make those cross-topic links. The second type, which is applying from the item, make sure that you do clearly indicate the item use, quote the item, say according to the item, and put it in speech marks. Your best answers are focused, clearly stating a point and developed. Use sociological concepts, studies and evidence and theory as appropriate. Now for your 20 marker, timing continues to be an issue. In particular, the second 20 marker from the section B was often brief or incomplete for some students. There was small evidence of planning. The questions are designed to draw upon a wide range of material, and you need to carefully choose the content and plan your answers. Better answers refer to both empirical research, for example your studies, and theoretical perspectives. Your item is a useful starting point, but make sure that you are referring to a wider range of knowledge and ideas. So let's have a little bit of a look at section A1, which is culture and identity. So this is the first section that you come to, and as you can see, it's laid out following that structure. You've got your outline and explain, 10 marker first, followed by your 10 marker with an item, and then your 20 mark. And you should be spending about 1 hour on this section. Question 1 was asking you to outline and explain 2 ways in which individuals may be socialised into a national identity. It's worth 10 marks. You should be spending 15 minutes on this answer. This main focus of this question is cross-topic links. This is where you are linking 2 areas of the spec and showing your application between the 2. Now, most students were able to explain 2 ways in which individuals may be socialised into national identities. The most popular answers included socialisation within the home. So that could be primary socialisation, for example, celebrating a national festival or event, watching it on TV, for for example, at school or through the media, which is your secondary socialisation. Then you needed to be able to apply it to the idea of national identities. Okay, so better students will show that knowledge of this process of socialisation and how it teaches them a national identity, and give an example of what that national identity might be, and that is through rituals. You gain your analysis marks by looking at the extent to which a national identity exists. It does mention on the examiner report a small number of students did not understand what was meant by national identity, so one to watch out for there. So question number 2 is your second 10 marker, and again you're spending 15 minutes on this. Now the focus on this one is also application, but rather than linking 2 areas of the spec together, you are linking your knowledge from the item, and it tells you it 3 times to refer to it. The question's asking you about 2 ways in which agents of socialisation have contributed to growing uncertainty about identities, and what you are looking for is, in the item you're looking for what the agents of socialisation may be, and students were able to give 2 ways in which they have done this, and to be successful, answers needed to discuss the role played by the agencies that are named in the item, and the 2 that are there is the media, that was hook number 1, and the workplace as being hook number 2. Reference to other agencies such as education, peer group and religion will have lost students marks because they will have not applied it from the item hooks. Then what you needed to do is that you were asked to apply it to this agency, to the growing uncertainty about identity. And popular responses included things like the impact on masculinity, the way that people can maybe pick and mix their identities, which means that there are less certainty about them, and hybrid identities. Analysis marks is also available on this one, the extent to which identities are now uncertain, to what extent they are. Okay, so 15 minutes on this one, and making sure that you are using the item hooks. Your final question in the culture and identity section is question 3. It's a 20-mark question, which you should be spending 30 minutes answering. Reminder to make sure that you are doing a plan before you answer this question, in order to make sure that you logically answer to the best of your ability. Now, most answers of this question, where it was asking you to evaluate sociological contributions to the understanding of mass culture, most answers did show a good understanding of what a mass culture was. They also were able to give examples of a mass culture, and many were able to compare mass culture with other types of culture, such as popular, high culture and folk culture. Your better answers were able to develop and discuss sociological ideas, drawing upon ideas from the item, such as the view that consumers are passive and cultural industries exist primarily to make a profit, and drawing on perspectives like from the item your Marxist perspective, but also your postmodernist perspective, functionalist, feminist, to show a broader view of the contributions to the understanding of mass culture. So this section A, should take you 1 hour to answer. There are 3 questions, and making sure that you are following the examiner comments just to maximise your marks. Mark scheme and the question paper is in the links below if you wanted to have a go at these. Thank you for watching. Bye bye.